This evening, uproar over ministers receiving government scholarships. President denies improprieties. Better management of the friendly skies as the Guyana Aviation Authority increases its staff. GWI denounces employee featured in controversial viral video. Pay up or go to court. Those are the options for delinquent property owners in Georgetown. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, PDP wins 2 seats in the House of Assembly. And internationally, President Trump is intent on building a border wall as soon as possible.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Randolph Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel, as well as our website, safetvguyana.com. Join us. The Georgetown City Council voted on Monday to take property owners to court in an effort to collect outstanding rates and taxes. Andrew Weeks sat down with the mayor on Tuesday and filed this report.
Well, you know, yesterday at the statutory meeting, a motion was moved by Councillor Samuels and seconded by Councillor Welton Clark that the administrative play a more positive role, more active role, I should say, in taking persons to court for taxes owed to us. It's unfair that a man pays simply $11,000 a year and for 20 years he has not paid. It's unfair. If you look at $11,000 a year, it's not even $1,000 per month. And that $1,000 per month has to provide for you, which is like $30 a day, has to provide for you garbage collection, proper roads, proper drainage and street lighting. How do we get money? I just break that one. And there are some persons who are paying $6,000 a year and they don't pay.
Mayor of Georgetown, Patricia Chase Green, the City Council has not been successful in getting the property owners to update their rates and taxes. The municipality is owed over $18 billion in rates and taxes by businesses and property owners.
And so my appeal, again, to the general public is let us honor our civic obligation by paying our taxes. It is not our role to take away properties. I don't think we want to do that. But if we're forced to, we will have to put up properties for sale. And we're trying to work with other agencies to ensure if you have to have a license for your liquor restaurant, unless you don't pay your taxes, you don't get a license. We're trying to get that networking done. Because it's the only way people, I think, will give us that respect to pay their taxes. So if you apply for your liquor license and you have not paid GRA, you have not paid the City Council, you cannot get your license. You must be able to pay all those agencies before you are granted a license.
During 2015 and 2016, the council offered an amnesty period for 25% and 50% of the interest on the taxes owed to be removed, and still, many companies and persons did not take the advantage of it. The council further stretched out its hand of mercy and removed 100% of the interest owed, and while some took advantage, the majority of defaulters did not pay up. As for the container fees, the council had asked for business owners via the Private Sector Commission to provide a document as to how many container traverses the city on a daily basis and the weight of those containers. Chase Green said,
We're still in discussions. They would have brought some information to us recently, which the Finance Committee is going to look at and then move forward with it.
So you would say right now that for 2017, things looking bright for the city of Georgetown?
Things are looking brighter. Things are looking brighter.
Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Yesterday, Guyana Water Incorporated took to social media to speak out in reference to a controversial video circulating around Facebook. The company denounced the employee's actions, saying, quote, "A staff member was seen displaying an attitude which is unbecoming of the expected behavior of a GWI employee. Management has decided to launch an immediate investigation, and the staff member has been sent on administrative leave pending the outcome. In the meantime, GWI would like to reiterate that it is an illegality to pay any GWI staff or contractor in the field to avoid disconnection. Any customer found culpable of performing such acts will be charged. The video in question has been making the rounds on social media in recent days. Near the end of the 30-second long video, a female GWI employee is seen swearing at the person taking the video and attempts to knock the phone to the ground. GWI stopped short of actually apologizing for the employee's behavior. Nonetheless, they advise customers to contact the company in order to avoid service disconnections. There are many vacant positions within the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. To fill this employment gap, more staff are being trained to fill vacancies within the air traffic control sections of the GCAA. Senior reporter Andrew Weeks has the details.
While over 30 air traffic controllers were trained in Jamaica last year and returned with 90 to 100% passes in their examination, the GCAA is still in trouble, says Director of the body, Etchberg Field.
While we are making training a priority, the air traffic control section is short of individuals, and as such a number of the present staff has got to work overtime. So with the addition of these new air traffic controllers, it will surely lessen the impact and stress that those individuals are facing now. We are monitoring them as the oversight body, as the regulatory body. We are monitoring them, and they're all within the hours of conformance when it comes to work and time.
Air traffic controllers are very important to any country. They are the ones who are responsible for safety separation of aircraft in and around airports, as well as any aircraft landing and taking off. Their watchword is safety. Air traffic controllers also keeps aircraft at distance from each other, direct them around bad weather, and ensure traffic flows smoothly within minimal delays. For 2017 though, GCAA has big plans not just for training of air traffic controllers, but for something even bigger. Listen.
We are in the process of certifying for approval the Air Navigation School, and when that has been completed, we will be able to train individuals on a more continuous basis because it would be approved by as per ICAO requirements.
That's good news for many young persons who want to pursue a career in this field. As for air navigation, Mr. Field said,
the air navigation section also is looking at developing the charts for Ogle and the Temeri approaches. They have begun that work, and we hope to have it completed later in this year. The approaches that will be completed and will be those approaches so as to make landing and takeoff for aircraft a lot safer. It would also enhance the work of the air traffic controllers by them able to space the aircraft in a better fashion.
Guyana can say now that they are in good hands as more good news are coming out from the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. Another main project for 2017 is the building of a new headquarters for the GCAA, as well as a simulator, among others.
The Civil Aviation Authority has been housed in rental property for a number of years. But with the support of the ministry, the ministers, we have been able to move towards acquiring a plot of land and heading towards the development of the drawings, etc., for our new headquarters. And you'll hear more of that. It's one of our special projects. The acquisition of a simulator, and this will be an air navigation Services Simulator for the training process will greatly enhance the transition of the air traffic controllers from the classroom to the actual event when they get into the tower. That transition period would be a lot shorter. We have completed payment for that simulator, and it should be here in about 6 months. It's the latest state of the art, and as I said, it will increase the capacity. Ogle at this time is without any navigational aid. They depend on the aid out of Tamari. So the project for 2017 is to install a distance measuring equipment, which is a navigational aid that would help to guide the aircraft in a better fashion to the Ogle Aerodrome.
Andrew Wicks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. In the past, the Civil Aviation Authority has had some issues with the professionalism of air traffic controllers, the latest major incidents of which occurred in 2013, when an air traffic controller walked off the job because their relief was late to work, leaving the tower minutes before the arrival of a Caribbean Airlines flight. Let's pray that 2017 will be a year of growth for the GCAA. Coming up on Headline News after the break, media up in arms over government scholarships for ministers, while President feels it's no big deal. And Ross Leon Saul talks business.
2017 is here, and Clearance will be hosting a big discount sale on Friday, the 27th of January. Dresses from $13,995 to $5,900. Tops from $7,995 to $4,500. Jeans from $12,000 to $5,500. Not forgetting the men, we have big discounts in your department as well. I'm talking shirts from $12,995 to $3,500. Jerseys reduced to $3,500. Levi's designer jeans from $13,995 to $6,500, and a whole lot more. Remember, the sale happens for one day only, Friday the 27th of January. The place to be is Clearance. Always keep a unique style.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
When it was revealed that 2 ministers were granted government scholarships, there was an uproar in the press. This week, President David Granger broke his silence, saying he sees nothing wrong with it, for it is not a corrupt practice. Senior reporter Andrew Weeks has our story.
The revelation came via a question posed by Opposition Chief Whip Gail Teixeira to Minister of State Joseph Harmon that Junior Ministers of Education Nicolette Henry and Junior Minister of Infrastructure Annette Ferguson were granted state scholarships. State scholarships are granted to persons who would perform well in the education sector. President Granger made the following comment during his most recent public interest show.
I frankly don't know the grounds, but certainly I have been in other organizations and I have always supported the academic development of persons, even persons holding office. This happens at the university. Somebody may go on with a bachelor's degree and every assistance is provided for that person to be upgraded. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In the police and defense forces, I know that scholarships are granted to officers to enable them to improve their qualifications so they can perform better in their jobs.
While the head of state, David Granger, is not sure about the circumstances surrounding how the 2 ministers were granted the scholarships, he argued that he is in full support of persons pursuing their education, especially those of his ministers in government.
So I am not, concerned necessarily with holding persons back simply because they hold office. All over the public service, we have people who are allowed to improve their qualifications in order to improve their performance. I do not know the grounds for these specific cases, but I would say that on the face of it, there's nothing, it is not a corrupt transaction, it is a legitimate means of career development.
Some political opposition pundits argued that the 2 ministers are competing with the average Guyanese for a scholarship, knowing that they are behind a number of persons who would have applied long in advance. But is the government policy for ministers as well to upgrade themselves? President Granger said,
I think any form of enhancement of a person's education should be considered, and it's a policy of our government to ensure that people get people improve their academic qualifications.
Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Last week, playwright and producer Ross Leon Saul spoke about the need for the government to listen to the cries of local businessmen. The general complaints of the businessmen are government's perceived unfriendly attitudes towards local business and the slowed pace of paperwork due to a perception of corruption taking place on the ministry and the regulatory agency level.
There are elements in the government system that are throwbacks from the old regime that are intent on sabotaging and making this present regime look bad. And that's where we gotta tackle the problem. If we gotta weed out the bad eggs or the bad apples, so be it.
Saul did not come to disparage the government. Rather, he took time to challenge industry leaders to invest in the nation. It is his belief that much of the compulsion to hold back investment stems from gloomy economic forecasts and a lack of support.
We are in a state where the economy could do with some more invigoration. And let's face it, Guyana has got a lot of rich people. Guyana's got a lot of investors. Guyana's got a lot of business people. But they're kind of holding back. And I think the real reason why they're holding back is because they're not being facilitated properly and being made to feel welcome. That's about it.
He believes that the business community should be given greater latitude to be successful in the system. Regardless, all the answers for business should not come from the central government. Successful businessmen in Guyana have a responsibility to help guide the new generation of entrepreneurs to excel in business, as well as be more proactive in voicing their opinions. Additionally, the process to a more fair and equitable business playing field would take decisive action. Actions that Saul believes the government is fearful to make, lest they receive accusations of racial discrimination.
Certain businessmen in the past were granted capacity to grow by the last regime. So they were able to get contracts, big contracts. They were even given monies in advance, $100 million to go get equipment, to get personnel, to get what they had to do. That's another problem we face, that on the other side of the fence, we are not being granted capacity, right? Because it seems like the government is scared of being seen as favoring some people. It's not about being favoring. It's about affirmative action from an economic standpoint for folks who had not shared in the largesse of the previous regime.
According to our information, President Granger has yet to respond to Saul nor the businessmen he represents. Last night at around 8:20 p.m., Hanson Ford and his mother Dawn Martin were the victims of an armed robbery in their own home. Ford and Martin were conversing in the lower flat of their two-story home in Crane Housing Scheme, West Coast Demerara. Four identifiable men, two of whom were armed with handguns, robbed the family of several pieces of gold jewelry, 2 ounces of raw gold, 2 cellular phones, and $60,000 in cash. The 4 men entered the house through a door that was left open. 2 suspects, both 19 years old, have been taken into custody and are assisting with the investigation. Still ahead, our regional and international news.
2017 is here and Clearance will be hosting a big discount sale on Friday, the 27th of January. Dresses from $13,995 to $5,900. Tops from $7,995 to $4,500. Jeans from $12,000 to $5,500. Not forgetting the men, we have big discounts in your department as well. I'm talking shirts from $12,995 to $3,500. Jerseys reduced to $3,500. Levi's designer jeans from $13,995 to $6,500, and a whole lot more. Remember, the sale happens for one day only, Friday the 27th of January. The place to be is Clearance. Always keep a unit stock.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. action cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, in Trinidad and Tobago, the Progressive Democrat Patriots Party has won 2 seats in the Tobago House of Assembly elections and will form the minority side in the Tobago House of Assembly. The political leader of the PDP says he intends to, quote, stir it up when he takes his seat in the Assembly as minority leader. C News reports.
6 months old, and the Progressive Democratic Patriots, led by Watson Duke, has won 2 seats in the January 23rd THA elections, seats that were held by the PNM for 16 years. Mr. Duke says it's a win for the PDP.
We are winners today. We would have triumphed. Basic mathematics, arithmetic will let you know that if someone has 12 and you would take 2 from them, then the person who would have lost the 2 would have indeed lost. There's no way you could lose when 2 is minus from you. So PNM has lost the elections.
He says despite all attempts by opposition forces to get rid of him, Monday night's results told him something.
Based on the firepower they use against Watson Duke should not have been a feature in this race. But historical evidence will show, statistical data will show that Watson Duke received the 2nd highest votes in the entire elections. The person who got the highest only beat him by 30 votes. It says something to me that my credibility is unquestioned when coming to leadership.
Mr. Duke says his party has started a revolution in Tobago and is here to continue fighting for the people of Tobago.
Last evening, the revolution took root. We now have a legitimacy to stand and to challenge the current PNM-THA and to ensure good governance takes place. We will not sit down and keep our mouth on mute. We are going to stir things up and we are going to give them the hardest time so they remain honest.
He says the PDP is here to stay. I'm Patricia Nicholson for C News.
The Progressive Democratic Patriots has challenged the THA election results. They have asked for a recount in the Goodwood-Bell Garden district. The recount started at 5 p.m. today. At a news conference on Tuesday, the party's leader Watson Duke said his candidate, Dr. Faith B. Israel, was in the lead even after 2 counts.
The electoral district of Bell Garden, Goodwood, and a little piece of Mount St. George came into question last night, and I would say into controversy last night, when our representative, our candidate for the area, Dr. Faith B. Israel, was leading the count. And the first recount, she was ahead of him by 2. And then they asked for another recount, where he overtook her by some 4 votes.
And internationally, President Donald Trump told ABC in an interview that he hopes to get construction underway for a border wall as soon as possible, although getting Mexico to pay for it may be, quote, complicated. CNN's Jeff Zeleny reports.
The president starting to make good on a major campaign promise. He just signed executive action that will fund a wall along that U.S.-Mexico border. We're waiting to get tape of him actually signing that executive order, so we'll turn it around for you. But the president also just revealed, though, that Mexico will not be funding it the way a lot of Americans were expecting. Instead of actually paying up front, Mexico will be reimbursing you, the American taxpayer, as the president clarified to ABC News in a clip that just released minutes ago.
Are you going to direct U.S. funds to pay for this wall? Will American taxpayers pay for the wall?
Ultimately, it'll come out of what's happening with Mexico. We're going to be starting those negotiations relatively soon. and we will be in a form reimbursed by Mexico, which I've always said.
So they'll pay us back?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So the American taxpayer will pay for the wall at first?
All it is we'll be reimbursed at a later date from whatever transaction we make from Mexico.
Mexico's president said in recent days that Mexico absolutely will not pay, adding that it goes against our dignity as a country and our dignity as Mexicans. He says, quite simply, they're not paying.
David, I think he has to say that. He has to say that. But I'm just telling you, there will be a payment. It will be in a form, perhaps a complicated form. And you have to understand, what I'm doing is good for the United States. It's also going to be good for Mexico. We want to have a very stable, very solid Mexico.
When does construction begin?
As soon as we can physically do it. We're
within months?
I would say in months, yeah. I would say in months. Certainly planning is starting immediately.
Walk us through the details of this executive order that Trump just signed.
Well, Brooke, President Trump just signed moments ago. He's at the Department of Homeland Security, which is across town here in Northwest Washington, a compound where the Homeland Security Department is. And he signed executive orders pertaining to immigration and that wall he's been talking about so often. The details of that are this, basically. He's going to reverse the Obama-era catch and release plan, which is a controversial plan where if Border Patrol agents would stop someone, arrest someone, they would release them in some respects. So catch and release is done. He's going to expand Border Patrol agents along the border. I'm told that they're going to expand detention spaces along the border, more prison spaces, more places to hold people. And his top priority, of course, he campaigned on it, was to direct Congress and DHS to use existing money to start building that wall. And he told ABC, as you saw there, that he hopes the construction of that will come in months. But the question, Brooke, that lingers that this executive order does not address is how the U.S. will ever get money from Mexico back from that. He said it would be more complicated, and Brooke, it will be very complicated.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeTVGuyana.com. You can also tune in at 6:30 tomorrow morning for a rebroadcast, and Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast. Thank you for welcoming us into your home, and do have a blessed evening.